Alec Baldwin. Keep watching me. Yes, Alec Baldwin, perma-angry narcissist, upper lesser type B, a bully, boastful, brash, belligerent. If you haven't already watched my dissection of why he's a narcissist and which type, you're missing out. Go and do so immediately. We know that one of the major challenges that Alec Baldwin faced was the aftermath of the death of Helena Hutchins. And this resulted in several challenges to his need for control. First of all, the accusations that were levelled at him in the immediate aftermath of it, and you can see my dissection of those in the Alec Baldwin series. But then he also faced, of course, criminal charges, which have recently been dropped but not have necessarily gone away, and, of course, civil suits, one of which he settled, which was brought by Miss Hutchins' husband or partner, but there are others that are outstanding with regard to her family. Now, some of you have mentioned that if it had been you that had accidentally caused the death of somebody on a film set, you'd be so overcome with grief and remorse that you would scrap the film, that you just couldn't bear to continue being haunted by what had happened. Those are fair observations. Of course, in some instances, there may well be contractual obligations to continue, and financial Armageddon might follow if those obligations are not seen through, and notwithstanding the tragedy, the film must be finished. After all, there is the old adage, the show must go on. But for some of you, the idea that filming should continue was particularly abhorrent in light of what has happened. Of course, not such a concern for Alec Baldwin, because he has no concept of remorse, he has no concept of guilt, he has no conscience by virtue of being a narcissist. However, as if to emphasize his narcissist credentials, Alec Baldwin has taken the step of hiring Oscar-nominated Rory Kennedy, RFK's youngest child, and sister of long-shot presidential contender Bobby Jr., to film his every move for documentary about his ill-fated movie Rust, with all-female crew. Oh yes. Not content with continuing with the film, which some might see as necessary, others might see as an insult to the memory of Helena Hutchins, but he's now making a film about the film. Indeed, this is to demonstrate to the world that it's all about him. The Daily Mail tells us more, with an article by Ruth Stiles. Alec Baldwin has hired a member of the Kennedy family to document every move he makes as he starts to reshoot his troubled Western movie Rust. Rory Kennedy, 54, is the youngest child of RFK and his wife Ethel. She was born after Kennedy's assassination in 1968 and was nominated for an Oscar for her 2014 war epic Last Days in Vietnam, which is billed as telling the untold stories of the Americans and Vietnamese on the ground. DailyMail.com can now disclose that the blonde mum of three is currently in Montana, where she has been repeatedly pictured with Baldwin, including at Bozeman Airport, where the pair were seen getting off a United flight from Denver together. On Wednesday morning, she was also seen directing her all-female crew outside Baldwin's New York brownstone as her crew filmed him hugging wife Hilaria, 39, and their 7 children goodbye ahead of his trip to Montana. Baldwin, 65, will now be living in Livingston, Montana until May 22nd, doubtless thinking, thank fuck, it's lovely and quiet here, I don't have to put up with the noise from those 7, to complete his movie Rust after production was shut down in October 2021, following the shooting death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins, 42, during a scene. The new set is on the Yellowstone Film Ranch, which boasts a purpose-built Western-style backlot and views of Paradise Valley and the crazy and Absaroka mountain ranges. Despite blizzard conditions in the area, photos taken by DailyMail.com show shooting is ready to start, with a herd of horses seen tacked up and ready for their close-up near the set on Thursday morning. On Friday morning, the actor was pictured leaving the $285,000 apartment he has hired for the duration of the shoot before being driven to the set. Baldwin, who slid over in the snow before climbing into a white Toyota 4Runner SUV, was dressed entirely in black and carried a briefcase containing a sheaf of papers. Kennedy, who was repeatedly seen visiting the apartment on Thursday, was nowhere to be seen. However, the blonde director was inside when news broke that 2 charges of involuntary manslaughter against Baldwin related to the death of Hutchins had been dropped. Baldwin, who had been due to face a preliminary hearing in the case next month, celebrated by posting a photo of himself with his wife Hillary, or Hilaria as she would prefer, to Instagram. See parts passim for the analysis in that regard. Kennedy is a long-time associate of the Baldwin family and has enjoyed an illustrious career, producing documentaries on a range of topics including AIDS, rural poverty and border issues. Like the famously left-wing Baldwin, she has been outspoken in her support for democratic politics, endorsing Barack Obama for president in 2008 and Hillary Clinton in 2016. She has not, however, commented on her conspiracy theorist older brother Robert's bid for the 2024 Democrat nomination, which he formally announced to little fanfare earlier this week. The only member of an American political dynasty to comment so far is Alec Baldwin's brother, Billy Baldwin, who posted an enraged tweet on Thursday morning that referred to him as being less than half a man and included a photo of Kennedy's second wife, Mary, who tragically committed suicide in 2012. I don't need to go into the details of the rant, but it is interesting to see that Baldwin has seen fit to ensure that his activity in and around the filming of Rust is also being filmed. This enables him, of course, to utilise that subconsciously for the purposes of drawing fuel and asserting control. And it demonstrates very clearly that he has no concept of shame, remorse, grief, or conscience in relation to maximising the tragedy that has surrounded the death of Helena Hutchins for his own use. Undoubtedly, if the film crew were there when he got news that the criminal charges had been dropped, we're going to see his reaction from that. And therefore, we're going to have the film and then a film about the film. Now, of course, it is quite common for there to be documentaries about the making of a particular film, and of course this one has added spice, if you will, because of the death of Helena Hutchins. But of course it's demonstrative of the way that a narcissist behaves to milk the circumstances of somebody's death by not only continuing to film, but moreover to film reactions to various announcements surrounding the death and the continued filming of Rust itself. He has no regard for the impact that this has upon the members of Helena Hutchins' family. It has to be all about him. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.